Right, I got a couple things going on at the same time. So, bring this down some. Hey, what's going on, Dad? Hey, I am doing two things at once. So, if you want to jump off of this and jump over here, go to the link, hit the R-BoP podcast, and jump on in over here. Okay, because I absolutely cannot hear the phone right now. So I hope you can hear me, but I'm doing the podcast. No walk today. So I can see the typing over here, but if you want to come over here and then jump in, let me know. Looking at comments. Okay, I don't have that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And we're going to do that. All right, comment. Hey, what's going on, Frack Daddy? What's happening? What's going on? This is a test. This is a test. I got my TikTok happening. I got good morning, good morning. Yeah, I got my TikTok happening over here. And then I have R-BoP happening, which I haven't done in a while. What I normally do is, Jared, what I normally do is I do a 5-mile walk in the morning. And during my 5-mile walk, I do a live TikTok. Okay. I'm slowly but surely making my way back to back to social media. Okay. So got comments happening over here, podcast happening over there. So as people come in, those of you on TikTok. Oh yeah, I got TikTok phones ringing in the background. I ain't answering it. I'm busy. Yeah, man, I'm on TikTok, doing pretty good, man. Got a pretty good following on TikTok. That's where I kind of fell into after I, due to a lot of things, pandemic and this, that, and the other. I kind of stepped away from the cooking. Daddy cooked for a while, and I stepped away from the podcast, and I kind of landed on the TikTok. Ghetto, go to my profile. I'm on the podcast right now. Hit that podcast link. And so you're done with YouTube? You're working on TikTok? Man, shoot. TikTok's easy. I'm coming back. I'm just waiting for people to pop in, get some comments, make sure, folks are transitioning in. Good morning. Feel a long time no see. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Got some things I want to talk about. And yeah. I'm a little bit irritated. Is your TikTok Daddy Cooks? No, my TikTok is Sneaky One, my email address. My former, well, it's still my email address. Sneaky One with 2 E's. And you'll find it. Yeah. All right. So Ghetto, do that. Everyone else, 31, 35 people. Hello, people. Those of you that are interested, if you go to my profile on TikTok, those of you on TikTok, you will find a link to the podcast that I'm on right now. Okay. It's called R-BoP, R-BoP. You can find it on YouTube. We're live right there right now. If you want to pop into there, see, in this way, I can bring in guests and all of that. First time I've done this. I've talked about it over and over. But hey, thanks, Jared. Appreciate you, brother. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah, I'm trying to see if this is going to work. I know I put a link in my link tree, and I want to see if that's going to bring you guys here. You know what? Let me do this while I am live. Open up another window. I'll put it over here. And I'll just open up let's open up. Okay. Let's see what's happening. Oh, there it is. Watching live. Let's go to that. Turn down this audio. Okay, got one audio go. Pin chat. You can now pin the message at the top of your line. Okay, got that. So I want to look over here to make sure. Yeah, I am getting the comments from both one place to the other. So that's cool. All right. That's cool. I think there's a little bit of a delay. All right. Hey, let me see how this works. There he is. All right, I got him. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link rather than try to send people individual links. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a invite link into the chat and we'll go from there. How's that? So we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And here it comes. Here's the link. There you go. That's the link. So you click on that link, then you'll be down into the green room, and then I can bring you in. How's that? Now, first of all, how's my audio? I hope my audio's good. I hope my video's good. Saying what's the subject right now? I'm working out the podcast thing, and I hope you guys in TikTok can hear me good. You guys are a little bit further away than this microphone right here. I kind of want to talk about, well, what's on everybody else's mind, the whole shoot 'em up that happened in fucking Texas. All right, there he is. All right, let me get it. I'm gonna wait. I see you. I'm gonna wait for you to adjust your camera, and then I'll bring you in. There he is. You look excited. Let me bring in my buddy. Boom.
Since I've been on a podcast.
There you go, baby. Now you are in.
Yeah.
Was it premature?
It's a heavy morning for me with everything that happened yesterday in Texas. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just, I'm trying to transition this over. If most of you don't know, Phil will speak his mind and you might get offended. That's Frack Daddy.
One of the things I love about you, Phil.
Yeah, baby. So somebody says, ghetto preacher, I don't know how to join. Do this. Step out of the live on TikTok. Go to any one of my videos, sweep to the left, and you'll be on my profile. Hit the Linktree link, and then hit that link, and that should bring you right into the podcast. There you go. That's for anybody else. Get out of the live if you want to, out of the live on TikTok. I'm talking, for those of you looking at me like I'm crazy, I'm talking to my phone right here, which is over there. And I'm talking to this camera here using this microphone and the microphone for my phone. There you go. Let me see if I can give you a look. Let's try this. Change cameras. Let's go to this one. All right. We'll go to that one for now.
Oh, it's a pretty awesome setup.
Yeah. And this is what I'm looking at, if I can get it there.
Yeah, nice.
Hold on. This is I got these three monitors really close together. I'm going to do that. All right. This is what I'm looking at. My phone is here. Obviously, I got the keyboard. This is what I'm looking at here. Monitor to the left, monitor to the right. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm on two screens.
No, three, man.
I'm sorry, Phil.
What? Well, see, this one is so I can watch and make sure that I was on YouTube. So I'm just going to close that one out. Okay, that's closed. So now I got monitor to the left. This is what I'm working with. So if I want to do some research, if I'm talking about something on this screen, then I can research real quick over here, or I can bring up something I want to show over here, blah, blah, blah. And then here's the soundboard with all the sound effects and crap. I got to get that set up. But that's where I'm at. So I'm going to try to put this back.
So it's a beautiful setup, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me set this back up here. Bam. And let's change cameras. Look, it's right there on the I Love Me wall. Isn't that crazy? And not bragging, but there's a bronze star right there.
I see it. I saw that immediately.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Anyway, let me get out of this. I'm rusty, man. I haven't done my podcast in a minute. Let's go back to here, back to the main camera.
Let's see what's in the
Okay, and now I'm back. Now, what's in the chat, Frack Daddy? He says, I'm 90 miles from that shooting field. Wow.
Yeah.
Frack Daddy Barbecue's a friend of mine. We, do YouTube cooking and blah, 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 blah. So he's familiar with the podcast and he's familiar with the cooking show. And he knows the way I do things. Trying to get Ghetto in here. Ghetto Preacher. I'm picking up the phone now.
Yeah. Hunt for Kev. Get Kevin on here.
Yeah, man. What are we talking about today?
I am so fucking angry. And
why? I mean, I know why, but vent, man. Let it go. They can kick me off of TikTok, but YouTube ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah. I am so mad because I'm a gun owner and I'm trained and I've owned guns off and on my whole life, and I've gone through so many of these events.
Right.
We've seen so many since Columbine.
Yeah.
And for me, in December of 2012, when Sandy Hook happened, that was kind of an eye-opening moment in that we allowed small children, right? And we could not come together, have reasonable conversations, about what we can do to prevent those kinds of things.
Right.
And ever since then, every one of these events just makes me madder and madder and madder. And now we have another event like Sandy Hook, the exact same kind of thing, where children as young as 5 and as old as 11, 19 people killed, 18 children and 1 adult.
Yes.
And we're not going to do anything about it.
Well, this is what's going to, here's the problem. And people on TikTok, the conversation is, and I know you guys can't hear, that's why I'm urging you to come over this way. I'm going to say this one more time and then we'll get on this conversation. Go to my profile on TikTok, go to my link tree, hit R-BoP, you will come right in here. But you have to get out of the live there to come here. Anyway, conversation is the frustration over ever since freaking Columbine and all these other shootings, nothing's happening. It's always hearts and minds, thoughts and spirits and all that, thoughts and prayers and all that crap. And that does nothing. I also thought that when children got killed the first time, something was going to happen. Thoughts and prayers, hearts and minds. Okay. I thought when that senator, I forget his name, got shot at the baseball game.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it happened to them. I knew it was going to change. Not fucking shit. No, didn't change anything. Right. And then this. Now, just in the last couple of days, we've had a white guy drive a long distance and kill black people. Yep. Then we had a freaking Chinese guy kill some Taiwanese people. Yep. Okay. And now we have a Spanish guy killing Spanish people. And with the exception of the first one, it was people of color killing people of color. The first one was just a racist freaking, terrorist act. Okay. The other two were just terrorist acts. All right. It doesn't change anything. A terrorist act is anything that is done that's going to breed or induce terror on other people to make them afraid to do shit.
Yep.
That's a terrorist act. If I whoop your ass every day fighting, the next day you're going to be afraid because that's a terrorist act. I'm invoking fear. All right. Terrorist act does not mean you got to kill a shitload of people. The caravan's coming. You're scaring people. The caravan's coming. You guys need to vote. The caravan's coming. That's bringing fear, not terror, but it's still, in a sense, trying to scare people into doing something or not doing something that's that close to a terrorist act.
100%.
You're invoking fear for a reason. You didn't knock down the World Trade Center to scare us. No, it wasn't that big. But if you keep saying those other people are going to replace you, and then all of a sudden people freaking get afraid and then they have to act and they drive a couple of miles to shoot people. Terrorist act.
Yeah.
Yeah. My view.
No, I'm over it. For me, especially very young children, right? Like that just hits me really hard. And we saw it here in Florida with Parkland. here in Tallahassee, we've had 3 mass shootings total, 2 in the last couple of years. We had one at a yoga studio, one
Okay.
here on FSU's campus just back in 2016. I was actually on campus when that one happened because it was on a Thursday night.
Wow.
Got walked into the library and shot up the library here.
Yeah.
Before that, in the 70s, there was a mass shooting on FSU's campus involving a student and his professors.
Yeah.
You know, we've not done anything about any of these events to keep it from happening other than to say it's too soon to talk about it. When can you talk about it?
Yeah. Oh, it's too soon. Now's not the time. Well, it's never been the time, and it keeps fucking happening. You know, I don't understand how the gun lobby is so fucking powerful. I don't get
they give
that.
money to everybody. So this is the common misconception is they only give money to Republicans, right?
Mhm,
That's what
yeah.
we think. Now they do get the most. They get most of the money.
That's
But
true.
right across the state line here in Florida, in Bainbridge, Georgia, it is rural Georgia. Their representative there is a man named Sanford Bishop. You can look him up.
Okay.
Sanford Bishop has been their representative for decades there in that area. He is the highest paid Democrat from the NRA.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And there's several of them, right? That get money from they're all lobbied. And so they don't have there's no reason for them to do anything because it's not their families that are affected. These people don't go to the rich elite private schools and do these things.
Oh no.
They're hurting other poor people that are already suffering, and politicians don't care about the non-wealthy.
And you're 100% correct. And then what's funny is, and I'm sorry, that's the wrong choice of words. It's not funny. What's interesting is one of the shooting with the Crump kid. Remember that? Who parents hauled ass? That shit. That was a pretty well-to-do school. And they were supposed to have top-notch freaking security. And they were asked, well, our security was blah, blah, blah. They're like, well, why don't you have metal detectors? I think it was that school. I may be mistaken. But why don't you have metal detectors? Oh, well, we don't want to do metal detectors because that would make us look. He did everything he could to not look like a fucking ghetto school.
Right.
That would make us look other than the way we want to be portrayed. No, they put metal detectors on the black schools on the south side of Chicago because that's where I went, and I guarantee they were there. We went through metal detectors. But as rudimentary, that's the wrong word, as harsh as those things are, it just looks like you're walking into a prison that way, airport type of shit. There's no mass school shootings in those places. Because you can't get a gun in there. Right? Now, you might get shot the fuck up once you get out of school now. People wait for you at the car, But there's no one. That's not black people crime.
The thing is, too, Phil, is that so we can't say it's the laws, right? We can't say that for sure because of the Dickey Amendment. I can go into that in a few minutes if we want to talk about what that is. But if we look at states with stricter laws, they have lower numbers of homicides, lower numbers of suicides, and lower numbers of mass shootings. It is statistically correlated. If you have stricter laws, you have fewer numbers. The states with the looser laws have higher numbers of all those things. The CDC prints that out every year to show it. You can go to their website, stats of the states. You can see that every single year. The worst states for gun violence are states like Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alaska, right? Those are the worst states. States that like New York, Massachusetts had the lowest rates in the country. Even Illinois, people like to talk about Chicago. Chicago's not in the top 20. Illinois is in the bottom, 20 states as far as gun violence goes. Texas and Florida are much worse, right?
Okay.
And we know that these types of restrictions can work.
Right.
Now we don't know which ones because we can't study it. Right, that goes back to the Dickey Amendment.
It's against the law to freaking study the effects.
Yeah. So those listening that don't know, the Dickey Amendment was passed in '96 as part of the omnibus spending bill. That's how we fund our government because Congress can't pull their heads out of their ass to pass the national budget. So instead, they pass a rider where they say, "Oh, we're going to keep funding this or not fund this." And so they added in '96 what came to be known as the Dickey Amendment because it was put forward by a guy named Jay Dickey, who was a representative from Arkansas. You can guess the party.
Right.
And the Dickey Amendment basically said that if the CDC and later the NIH fund any research that could be used to promote gun control, they will immediately lose all federal funding for everything. So then they can't research anything. And that became a moratorium because now no one that gets federal funding wants to fund gun research. So here at FSU, any research that I publish, I have to pay a pocket for all those costs. FSU will not pay any of it because they're afraid of losing funding. But everything I publish, they're like, "Hey, look at what our people are doing. We're doing great things." But then, like, if the government comes knocking down, well, we didn't pay for that. He's doing that on his own.
Hey, Ghetto Preacher, if you're in the podcast, type something. I'll put the link in again, and you can jump right in here, brother. I know you're in the car, but we're good. We'll figure it out. Or make your comment. See, you're on your phone. So that's
the FSU stuff up on my wall there.
There you go. But people that are on TikTok, once again, I know you can't hear the conversation, and I'm doing this because I didn't walk today. Sorry. Maybe there's no place to comment. If you go to YouTube, you're on your phone. There's got to be a way to make comment though on the phone.
I mean, I did.
Yeah. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to put the link in one more time, and maybe you can just click on the link and jump right on in here. So if you're in the comment section, look at the comment section right now. Boom, boom. And there's a link that's going to show up. And maybe you can click on that link and you'll pop up down here in the green room. Everybody else that's on TikTok right now, if you want to jump over to this podcast, you can either look for R-BoP, R-BoP, Riddick's Book of Philosophy on YouTube right now, and I'm live. Or you can go to my TikTok profile. Unfortunately, you have to get out of TikTok Live to do this. Go to my TikTok profile. If you don't know how to do that, go to any one of my videos, swipe to the left, you'll see my profile. You'll see a Linktree link. Click on that, and then you'll see the link to get you to R-BoP, and you should pop right in here.
Yeah. And from the live, you can click on his picture at the top corner. That'll pull up like his name and stuff. You can then click on his picture again. That'll take you straight to his for his page. And then you can click on his link tree there.
But they can't hear that. Say that one more time.
I was going to say, like, you can also click on Sneaky's picture. That's
click on my picture. That's on the top during the live. And
that pulls up your name. You click on your picture again. That takes you straight to your page.
That'll pick up my name. That'll show my name. You click on that. It'll take you straight to my page. And then you can see the Linktree link.
Yeah.
So that's for everyone that is on TikTok still. This is going to be a more and more thing. All right. Like I said, I'm bringing my podcast back. I'm still going to be doing my 5-mile walking talks for TikTok. But the days that I don't, or if I do want to do a podcast or have a conversation in the evening or other than that, then it'll be on the YouTube form. There you go. All right. I got friends of mine that haven't seen me forever. You got freaking Big Cat. How you doing, brother? Jared's already in here, Frack Daddy.
Nice to meet both of you.
Yeah, Madwood Barbecue. You notice these are all cooking channels because
I see. Y'all making me hungry talking about food. I mean, that might be a easier, more palatable conversation.
Yeah.
Like, whether we continue talking about the Texas event or not, there is one more thing I want to say, and it's going to piss some people off if they're people who look like me out there, especially. But the biggest reason we're not going to do anything is racism.
Yes, I agree.
We didn't do anything when rich white kids were killed. Why are we going to do anything for anybody else?
Yeah, I agree. And TikTok, the reason nothing's going to happen is what was said is because bottom line is racism. It's not messing with the ones that have the power to change. So they have no reason to change. Yep. They have no reason to change whatsoever.
I mean, you look at the demographics of Sandy Hook. Look at the demographics of Parkland, right? Yep. We didn't do shit when that happened. Mm-hmm. Why would we even begin to think we're going to do anything after Buffalo or after Texas?
Good morning, Suzanne. Hey, real quick, if you go to my profile on TikTok, find my Linktree link, click on R-BoP, and you can jump right over here to where we are. And I'm talking to Dow, same people, same one we talk to every morning. I'm in here talking to Dow right now, trying to get Ghetto Preacher in here, trying to get you in here. Frank Day says, because the country's fucked up. Agreed.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I see that he posted he's from class of 91 from FSU. That's awesome. Yeah. I love it here. Obviously, I've stayed here. I got all my degrees from FSU, and now I'm a professor in public health here.
Nice. And he's my friend.
I'm your friend.
And I'm just an obnoxious fuck with a crazy freaking point of view.
You're one of my favorite people that I met on TikToks.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. What's the topic for today? This is from TikTok. We were talking about the whole thing about the Texas shooting. Actually, we were just talking about unaliving. This for TikTok, YouTube. Unaliving altogether. When's it going to end? When's it going to end? It's only going to end, and I'm not even going to say it's only going to end when the majority of America wants it to end, because we're there already. Yeah. It's when the fucking lawmakers want it to end. And the problem is the gun lobby and the gun manufacturers and all of that shit, the ammo guys, anyone that this affects directly are deep into those pockets. So this is when greed is more important than need. Yep. You with me?
Exactly. And we know that that's fact because the last time we had any major legislation was after Ronald Reagan got shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And it's ironic. It's ironic it was him because he made one of the biggest freaking California gun legislatures after the freaking Black Panthers legally carried over and over in my work that Ronald Reagan has done more than any modern politician on restricting gun access. Yes.
Because he did the Mulford Act in 1967 as governor of California, where he said no civilized person should ever carry guns to have a conversation. Right? Trying to do my Reagan impression. And then in 91, he wrote an op-ed for the New York Times called Why I Support the Brady Bill. And he kept writing those opinions and going on television talking about those opinions after he was shot by Hinckley. And James Brady was hurt and paralyzed. And then in 93, he wrote an open letter to Congress where he, along with Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter, that said that banning semi-automatic weapons is the reasonable thing to do. And that, even though banning them, and this is my favorite quote that I teach in my class, even though banning them will not end all crime, it has been shown to reduce enough crime to make it worth doing. And the senators that voted in support of both the Brady handgun bill and the semi-automatic weapons ban all said that they only did it because Ronald Reagan told them to.
There you go. And you just glitched. Are you still with me, Ben? No, you're back.
Are you there?
Yeah. You glitched. You're good. You're back to normal now.
Okay. So anyway, I thought I lost you a second. But they all said they only did it. All the Republicans only did it because of Reagan.
All right. She says, I can't get to join. Sure you can. Well, you're on your phone. I've had people on here from their phone.
I'm on my phone right now.
Okay. If you can get to, I wish I could send her a link and I can't. Let's do this. Go to Suzanne, go to YouTube, get off TikTok, go to YouTube and look for R-BoP, Riddick's Book of Philosophy, or R-BoP. You're going to get a couple R-BoPs, but you'll know my face. Okay. Click on that link and it should show you the live that I'm in right now. And this is for anybody. I should show you the live that I'm in right now. If you come to this live, I can put a link in and then you'll be able to jump into this conversation. I know it works because I'm talking to Dowd right now and he's on his phone. Yeah. And we talk to each other. All three of us talk together while I'm walking and talking. So if he can do it, they can do it.
Yeah. It absolutely works. If you jump into when you click on it where it says you're live, you can type in the chat. Once you join the conversation, you can't chat anymore in the chat. So like I'm flipping back and forth just to see what Frack and Cookin are saying, but I can't comment in the chat anymore.
Let me see I'm scared if I turn my mic. See, in this podcast rig, I have big ass monitors. Okay. And when I'm not podcasting, I'm looking at YouTube or editing video and doing whatever I'm doing. And I'm listening to these studio monitors. But if I have the speakers going with the microphone right here, I'm gonna get feedback. That's like I'm wearing headphones, so that only I can hear and the microphone can't. If I turn on the speakers, I'm gonna feedback all over the place. So I was gonna put my phone up by one of the monitors and try to turn it up a little bit, and maybe they could hear you as well. I hope this doesn't go bad.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, Frack, I think you're right. You know what you were saying about needing a clean house and how the country's just fucked, right? I think you're absolutely right. We, Phil and I I'm so used to just calling you by your screen name over on the other one, but Phil and I have been saying in numerous talks that we've had that there should be age maximums for leadership, right? Where if you are like over 65, you know, you're probably really too old to be in office. You know, like a lot of those people who are older than 65 were alive during Jim Crow. You know, those people should not be making a damn decision on
that's no shit. All right, TikTok. Okay, TikTok. Hopefully you can hear me. I had to move. You can hardly see me, but now I think you can hear me, and you should be able to hear what I can hear as well. Like I don't have it loud because I don't want to feedback. So I got you in my headphones. I got a monitor going with the phone right next to it. So can you hear my guest?
Let's see. Can you hear me?
I'll let you know if they answer. Can you hear my guest, and can you hear me? And then my fear is they're hearing me and they're hearing me over the speaker. And that I don't want that to sound weird. Okay, they say, yep, ghetto preacher.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah,
So
there's no feedback through the YouTube. So like I know that's not causing any problems.
So this is the first time I've done this. So ghetto, I hope you're not getting me twice. Does it sound weird? And hopefully I could get you in here. If you would have to commit to getting off TikTok and just come straight into YouTube for me to be able to bring you in here. Yeah. And once again, it's doable because Dow's in here right now, and I'm looking at him, talking to him, and he can hear everything I'm doing.
Yeah. So let me answer Frack's question real quick. Is that if we ban weapons, right? Let's just say hypothetically we just banned all guns, right? Countries that did that, they saw like a 5-year spike in like gun crime. But as cops took guns off the streets, there's almost no gun crime in those countries anymore. And the reason for that is that guns on the black market are expensive. So if you go to Australia and you try and buy an AR-15 on the dark web, it costs you $30,000 American. Wow. The people that can afford to buy that are the mafia, the Yakuza. And if you knock over a liquor store with a $30,000 gun that the Yakuza bought, you won't be doing anything else again, right? And so we see those crimes go away because they literally can't get those guns. They literally can't get access to them once they're limiting the ones that the criminals already have. Okay. And so only organized crime has them. So that's why countries like Japan, Australia, the United Kingdom have such low. It's less than 5% in some, and in Japan is statistically 0.
All right, Suzanne, here's a link to bring you in. I just saw her. So if Suzanne can do it, just click that link and you should come up in my green room.
Hey, Suzanne.
And I should be able to bring you in. I'll hear a pop and I'll see you when you drop down. I can have up to 6 people in here. And this is the free version. I stopped the paid version because I kind of took a break. That's like when you see that StreamYard in the upper right-hand corner.
Shit, Phil, I'm happy to help contribute to that, especially if I'm going to be popping on from time to time.
Well, I'm going to, like I say,
something to your Venmo or Cash App.
Hey, that'd be appreciated. I do have a Cash App, but I don't advertise it because I haven't been doing anything really. But yeah,
I mean, I know how expensive these subscriptions can get, right? Like, and if I'm going to be benefiting by being able to pop in with you here and there, I mean, I'm happy to throw a little bit.
I'd appreciate it. Okay, now we got Ghetto Preacher in there. He said, okay, had to go straight to YouTube. The link tree doesn't let you see the chat. Well, the link tree just gets you to the YouTube. Then you got to get off of the TikTok to get into the YouTube to come here. The link, okay, there he is right there. He's coming in. Got Ghetto.
Okay.
Right, but
What,
There you go.
drugs and guns aren't comparable.
what it is that your link tree
Yeah.
doesn't allow you to see the chat and all of that. So you got to literally go out of everything
Yes.
and go into YouTube.
Right. The link
and
tree
where-
is just to give you so you can get to the YouTube, but then you got to get off of TikTok. If you want to come in like you are now, you got to
No,
get
no,
off of TikTok.
but the link tree won't allow you to see the chat. Which once I got to YouTube from your link tree,
Yeah.
all I could see was you and Dowd. I couldn't see a conversation, anything. So I had to force stop
TikTok.
TikTok and YouTube, and just go to my YouTube app and come in.
Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll figure out how to get around that. But did everybody hear that? If you're trying to get in here, you're gonna have to go straight to YouTube from the link tree. You're gonna have to go straight to YouTube, but at least the link tree will give you the page to go to.
Yeah. Let me comment on a couple of things in the chat real quick. So first of all, the Second Amendment's not clear. It used to be clear. The government and the Supreme Court and all the founding fathers agreed that the Second Amendment was a state right to a militia. It was not an individual right. In fact, it wasn't until 2008 that the government said that you have an individual right to a handgun. The Second Amendment has always been, before that, a state's right, which is why in Crookshanks versus the U.S., this is one of my favorite laws to talk about. Crookshanks versus the U.S. involved the state of Louisiana, where immediately following the Civil War, when African Americans started to have guns, it wasn't the KKK. I can't remember the hate group that it was, but we'll just use the KKK as a proxy. They went around and started collecting guns from black guns and took those guns away, and went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled that those people were elected officials of the state and had every right to do it, because the federal government just can't tell you what guns can be. It's all about what the states want, right? Yeah. That there's no guarantee of an individual right to own a gun. The Supreme Court Justice in 76, Warren Burger, said that the idea that the Constitution provides a individual right to ownership is the greatest fraud perpetuated against the American people. And it wasn't until Antonin Scalia in 2008 said that his interpretation of it is that there's a right to individual ownership of a handgun, which was later expanded in McDaniel in 2016 to say all bearable arms, right? Okay. But that's new. That is relatively recent in American history. If you actually look at the sentence in the Second Amendment is a well-regulated militia shall not be infringed. The being necessary to the security of free state describes the militia. The right of the people to keep and bear arms describes the militia. Okay.
After during the Civil War, the southern states, it was actually illegal and punishable by death. That if you let your slave carry your gun.
Yes, carry a gun. Yep, slave codes. And and we see this, Dred Scott kind of predicts it. In the Dred Scott decision, when they were determining whether or not a freed slave had civil rights, in it they said that no, but if they were ever given rights, they would have all rights. And then they add this preface to it, that including the right to bear arms. They specifically mention that, which is why immediately following the Civil War, every slave state banned open and concealed carry.
Wow. Absolutely. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So much so that in the 1920s, here in the state of Florida, this is one of my great cases here in my state, a case called Watson v. Stone. Okay, and it was the concurring opinion by a man named Buford Justice. He was the Chief Justice, Buford Rivers. Okay, Buford Rivers wrote, it involved a case named Moses Watson. He got caught for drunk driving on a bicycle, and they found him with a handgun hidden on his body. This is the early 1900s. He went to jail. It went all the way to the Florida Supreme Court, and Buford Rivers said that these laws were never intended to be used against white people. They were only intended to disarm and I'll say African American, that is not the word he used, laborer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was freed and allowed to keep his gun. So, there have always been different rules in this country, and it's always been up to the state to decide. The Constitution does not.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, anyway, that's what we're talking about. Look, Well, I guess I know how come there's no one in TikTok, only one person. You guys over here. But I'm gonna leave that going. I'm gonna leave it going anyway. I'm gonna have to work that transition piece out. So how am I doing? How am I looking? How am I sounding? Audio okay? I got Suzanne, I got Ghetto, I got Dow.
You can call me by my real name in here.
I already started, Kevin. I was like, yeah, we're just going to have to call people by their real names over on this one because nobody will know your screen names.
Yeah, nobody know you.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody knows me here. I mean,
everybody can call me Ben.
Yeah.
Ben's
I'll tell you, I rip hell in this thing because it's not TikTok.
Oh yeah,
because it's not TikTok. Now,
see, my only thing,
we're not taking anybody away from you. This is just another option because you try to make people shut the fuck up. I just want to say that out loud. Anyway,
I know that's right.
Yeah, my whole thing on TikTok. I don't want to get shot. I'm not afraid to
Your win.
Can you hear me?
No.
It's like your connection, like there's a short or something.
Or like wind almost.
Oh, you're clear now. It's like when you're moving. Static. Static,
Okay.
like when you're moving the phone or something like that.
Yeah, my only problem with TikTok is I don't want to get docked. Not that I'm afraid to get docked. I'm afraid what's gonna happen if I get docked. Because if anybody show up at my door, they not walking away.
Oh,
they not.
The least of my worries is someone coming here.
I mean, I'm already doxxed. I'm a public figure. I'm a nationally
well, of course.
I've been interviewed by the Washington Post, the New York Times, the LA Times, Reuters AP. I work at Florida State University. It is very easy to find me, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
I have a bunch of mutuals on TikTok, but I have very few friends, and 3 of them are in this room right now. So yeah.
And I don't worry about anymore someone coming to my house because I got y'all and a couple other people that don't play about that. I know Sneaky would be here in less than an hour if I text him or anything and was like someone showing up.
Yeah, if someone trying to hurt somebody,
it's gonna take me a little. It's gonna take me a little longer than an hour to get there.
But I know you get here.
I mean, I could get to North Carolina in about 8.
There are 5 million guns in this country, maybe more. Gun-free zones are the things that need to be addressed. Okay, I hear you. Until we address,
not really any such thing as gun-free zones.
It's not.
That's just a conservative talking point.
Because
almost every place in America has somebody allowed to carry guns. Because by that definition of gun-free zone, military bases are gun-free zones because the only person allowed to carry one are the MPs, unless you're in a specific area on the base where you've got a gun checked out.
And every weapon on a military installation is controlled, every single one of them. Yep. I'm a lifelong freaking retiree infantry guy, Ranger, one of the most lethal guys trained, and I can't just walk up and draw a weapon without freaking permission.
Yep. Yeah. And we've had, Fort Hood, we've had mass shootings on military bases, right? By the definition that conservatives use of gun-free zone, military bases are gun-free zones. Most places, like you think FSU, you would, the conservative talking point is that we're a gun-free zone, yet we have police everywhere. There's like 500 police officers that work at this school. There's a button outside every 15 feet that you can press, and cops can be here in 2 minutes, no matter where you're at on campus. We're not a gun-free zone. There are people with guns.
He says, gun-free zones make 0 sense. Well, those don't exist. Not acknowledging the fact that gun-free zones are ridiculous makes no sense. I agree. It's ridiculous to think that there are gun-free zones. People are way too far apart on this issue. And if history shows us anything, dude, if history shows you anything, you just wouldn't even be the United States without guns. Give me a break.
Absolutely.
Because this country was freaking taken with guns, but
absolutely.
But here's the thing too, even with that's a mythology, right? Like there's this myth that it was the tavern keeper and the barroom owner that grabbed their guns from behind the bars and tried to, defeat the British, the greatest army in the world. But the reality is George Washington, in every single letter that he wrote, and this is why we eventually got the Continental Congress, said that the militia were cowards, and that if he could get them to fire just 2 shots before they broke ranks and ran, that he would consider them a success. Every letter he wrote, he complained about just the average citizen being armed. He hated militia, famously hated militia.
Good question. Okay, then why the fuck do they put them signs up saying gun free zone? Because that's what they want. That's not what they're gonna get. If it was gun free, the police couldn't walk in there with guns.
Okay, technically, what they mean by gun-free zones is average citizens can't carry a
Yeah,
gun into that
they
spot.
don't want average people to carry guns. If you own a business and you say don't bring a gun in there, that's just as legal as not being able to take a gun into the freaking state house.
Yeah.
If they don't want it. But you yourself saw, I know I did all over the news when they started freaking mask mandates and all that shit. They pulled that Black Panther stunt. They brought their weapons, they could open carry, and they went right into the freaking state house. And there were even video of the security guards letting them walk around the metal detector because they didn't want to hit a metal detector, and they let them in. Peaceful protest. And that's the same thing that freaking they did, the Black Panthers did in California, and they changed the freaking law.
Well, in Chicago, we got concealed carry, and in order for your establishment not to allow guns, you have to have a specific sign up, and it has to have the specific code, and it has to be the exact size. Other than that, I can walk into your establishment concealed carried all day long. I don't care if you got a sign up to say I don't want guns into my place or not. If you cannot serve me, but I can legally walk into there.
See, a lot of people don't realize this. Just your regular signs, all those little numbers and stuff, that is the code, the law that sign applies to. You can put anything you want on a freaking piece of paper, piece of cardboard, and hang it. That doesn't mean it's legally binding. That doesn't mean there's any weight behind it.
But not only that, if you think, I remember there was this one video, there was a white guy that walked into Subway with a bazooka. So it's not just about people not wanting, the society or government not wanting people to carry guns. They don't want black people to carry guns. Because I've seen a black person in a video go into a store legally carrying, and they kicked him out. But yet a white guy can walk into Subway with a bazooka strapped to his back and no problem.
Yeah.
There's definitely differences in how we can carry. But the fact of the matter is that it's a little less than 1% of all crime is stopped by a civilian gun. And almost none of these mass events are ever stopped by gun owners.
Someone is shooting over here.
Speaking of guns,
and I hear the police.
Crazy. Wow.
Did y'all hear that?
No, we heard the sirens.
Heard the sirens. The majority of the crime that is stopped by a gun owner is property crime. It's not violent crime. And so statistically, it's less than 1%. It's about 50 to 60,000 instances using the best estimates that we have. And, that's just the reality, right? And those who do end up stopping it tend to be former military or off-duty law enforcement.
Oh, now we got to come and say, this is all mental health based, literally 100% mental health. No,
less than 25% of mass shooters have a diagnosed mental health issue at the time of their event. And of those that did, only 3% have what we would call a psychotic disorder.
No,
I mean, we can literally say they're crazy, but they're not.
Because I don't care what anybody says. Those mass shooters do not have mental health issues. That is a BS. No. They know what they're doing. They know why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to go and murder people, period, point blank.
Well, that ranks right up there with, only criminals are doing this. Literally, this kid that freaking shot up this last shooting, as soon as he turned 18, as soon as he turned 18, he went and bought those 2 rifles, and then he did this shooting. So
and
criminals
on it.
But wait.
So he did it because he wanted to murder black people.
But that kid,
no mental health.
You can't say that, he was a criminal. He wasn't a criminal until he killed all those people.
Right.
But they said he killed people
and it was no mental health. Like, that's a no-go for me. I can't stand that excuse.
I mean, I'm sure there's some mental health issues in there.
I would argue anyone that does these kinds of events is crazy, like Kevin said, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're actually, diagnosable as mental health.
I mean,
Right.
I agree that there's something wrong with them. It's not natural to just want to kill people.
Well, it's because they're
That's just not
racist and
natural.
evil and hate those people they're going to kill. That's what it is. They're racist, evil people. That's it.
Well, okay. See, now the argument's going to come up, and we go back to where we started here. That shooting with the freaking white dude that drove all that way to kill black people, 100% racist. There's something fucking wrong with him. I ain't gonna say he was mentally ill, but his brain was bad. Wasn't
Yeah.
raised right. Okay. But the next shooting was an Asian guy that killed Asian people. Now, well, we can say that there was some stuff because China and Taiwan, it's the whole you're part of us, no, we ain't. The whole Russia-Ukraine things happening with China and Taiwan. So maybe he felt he was superior, just fucking mad. I don't know. So was it racism or was it status? I don't know what the word is. I'm Chinese, you're Taiwan. I hate you.
Yeah.
But the last one was a Spanish guy in the Spanish community killing a bunch of Spanish kids.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Like
No racism there.
overwhelmingly, it's about 64 to 68% of these types of people are white. They look like me. But
Okay.
the biggest thing is they're men. The vast majority, 92%. Right? I think it's a masculinity issue in a lot of ways. Think about this. We've been told as men, right? Kevin, Phil, y'all have heard this. Like, you're supposed to be able to provide for your family. If you work hard, you get what you're supposed to get, right?
Yep.
All of this. In today's world, that's not really possible, right? Because it's so expensive. Wages have stagnated. And, especially for people who look like me, that's why I would say that's why that 64% is so high and it's not more evenly distributed, is that when you have people that look like me that have been told their whole life that just as long as you do play by the rules, you get what you're supposed to get, right?
Okay.
And suddenly you don't, then you begin to take out those frustrations on somebody, which is why research has shown that the same things that will predict domestic violence predict someone who will do these kinds of events.
I'm reading this comment.
I would disagree on the part about working hard and being raised, because people who look like me, a lot of people are used to having that privilege. Like, I can get what I want, when I want, however I want, and no one will tell me no. They're not used to being told no. Hold on, let me finish. They're not used to being told no. So when they're told no, they get mad. Or when they feel like their privilege is being threatened, and that there's a possibility that, they won't have that power or that privilege, they're like, no. Like on Tucker Carlson, and a lot of places are saying that white people are going to be the minority. And one of the things he said was, black people are taking over. The guy who went and shot up the grocery store, it was because he felt like white people weren't going to be a lot of white people and more black people.
Okay,
So he wanted to get rid of black people.
It's not just white people.
Hold on,
Like
Suzanne,
Virginia
hold on.
Tech, for instance, was a Korean person. He was from Korea, and that was the Virginia Tech shooting, right? The Beltway snipers in Maryland were not white. So it's not all
I know,
white.
but I'm talking about what you just said about why white people do this. That's what I was talking about. I know other races do that, but I'm talking about the reason white people do it. We all know that different races go and do things like this, but I'm specifically talking about you saying why white people do that and the feelings. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what the research says, Suzanne.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing,
you can make
Suzanne.
anecdote all you want. The research says that's what it is.
What you got,
research is not
you got rich white people like Tucker Swanson Carlson, who that's actually his name, because he's heir to the Swanson fortune, telling the lowest intelligent white person who's poor, black people are coming to replace you.
Exactly.
So therefore, when they can't get what they want to add to what you were saying, they automatically feel like we're going to take it from them, or Hispanics are going to take it from them, or any unnaturalized immigrant.
Well,
So
here's a comment. Let me read this. This is from Jared, Track Daddy. He said, the problem is stop making it about race. It's a problem we have in America. I don't care what the color of your skin is. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. Got that. He also said, how about everyone stop being a sensitive bunch of little bitches in this country? I agree with that too. But no, it's not all about race.
And
But
not every
race
time it
has
is.
a lot to do with a bunch of these shootings.
absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
And I do agree this Me Too era, everyone gets a freaking achievement award. I think this society, we've raised a bunch of pussies now. No one's willing to take an ass whooping. They're willing to pull out a gun.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a Gen Xer. All right. I was raised freaking from the time you get out of school, take your ass outside and don't come back until the street lights come on. And they didn't know what the fuck we were doing, but our parents
Absolutely.
were doing their own thing, watching the stories or talking, playing pinochle, whatever the fuck they were doing. Dad's at work. And we were out creating straight fucking havoc. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with the metal. You might get tetanus. And we're trying to build freaking robot suits and shit. Bang, bang, you know. We're in the alley digging up fucking parts from big wheels and bicycles so we can create our own fucking vehicle. And then we're trying to jump off some shit. That's what we did when we were kids. We drank water, right out of the fucking hose. That's where the
don't forget zip gun
and stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We'd wait till the snow got high in Chicago and jump off the house into the snow. Our parents didn't know nor gave a fuck. As long as you didn't come back bleeding. You know what I'm saying? We used to get hurt and not tell my mother just because we didn't want to worry.
Absolutely.
You know, that kind of shit. But I do think that you got that static happening again, Kevin. You got that static happening, your phone in your pocket or something. Okay, better now. But listen, the majority of the issues in the United States of America are stemmed in racism, starting from the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence to what happened fucking yesterday. Come on, man.
Yeah.
The system is rigged. I'm not talking about elections. I'm talking about people of color living in this motherfucker. The system is rigged. When I can go into a bank, and a white guy can go into a bank, same age, right? Same amount of time on this planet. And the reason I can't get a loan or at least one as big as him is because I'm a black dude. The system is rigged.
Exactly.
Wells Fargo.
See, I want to jump off of what Ghetto Preacher said about them fearing that black people will take and everything. They also put fear in, well, black people will do to white people what white people did to black people, and they try and, instill fear in white people. And so that's another big thing why a lot of white people act the way they do,
Oh, I agree. After 400 years, and that's just the slavery part. And then everything else that was fucked up after that, slavery light,
But here's the thing.
That shit, there is an underpinning feeling. Hold on, let me finish this. There's an underpinning feeling across all of whiteness is if they do to us what they do to them, what we did to them, it would be freaking terrible. That's there. That's hanging. Even if you never thought about it, freaking actually, if those black people were to rise up and take over, they're going to do to us what we did to them.
Exactly.
And that's a great big fear. And we don't think that way.
Okay? Absolutely not. That's what I was just about to say. It's been over 400 years.
We don't think that way. We like to fuck up people that try to fuck us up, but we don't listen. You do something to my wife or my girls, I'm gonna retaliate. I'm gonna fuck you.
Absolutely.
That's a black people thing. That's an everybody thing, but that's a black people thing. Black people will steal your car. Black people will fight. Black people will steal your money. Black people do everything bad. Black people will sell you drugs. Black people will do drugs. Black people do as much fucked up shit as everybody else does. But what we don't do is seek out large quantities of anybody else to make them go away. Genocide
because of their race.
We don't do it. We've been through so much shit and we know what that feels like. It's not in us to do it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I've never been a slave, but like I said, my father's 80-something years old. Imagine the stories he has. I met my grandmother. She passed away years ago, freaking a month before her 100th birthday. I left drill sergeant school the weekend before graduation, flew to Virginia Beach for the funeral, and flew back so I could graduate. Okay. Come on. These are generations that I knew. And my grandmother was a slave.
What people don't
parents,
realize.
You see what I'm saying? It ain't like it's that far apart. And anybody that is 5 years older than me lived through Jim Crow, at least born through it. If you're 10 years older than me, you are old enough to understand that I drink out of this one and they drink out of that one. If you're 20 years older than me, you were a grown motherfucker with a job during that shit, and a job that you had, people like me couldn't even get that job. And that was the rule. That was legal.
Yep.
So why legal doesn't mean right.
Legal does not mean right.
Well, yeah, of course it don't mean right.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that people don't realize that generational trauma is actually a real thing.
Yeah. Yep.
It's actually instilled in your DNA, because there have been studies shown where you can take a group of animals, and put them in a room, and in order to get a treat, you'd have to push a button. But if you push that button, you're going to get shocked or whatever. So at some point, they quit pushing that button. And when they have children, their children instinctively know not to push that button.
Yeah.
I mean, so just imagine 400 years of trauma and slavery.
I remember that experiment.
Instilled in our DNA.
I remember that experiment, and it involved monkeys. They had 4 or 5 monkeys that they did exactly that too. They push a button to get a treat. They could get a treat, but they get the shit shocked out of them. And so they stopped it. They stopped pushing the button. Then they introduced a new monkey, and every time it tried to push that button to see that treat, it saw the treat, the other monkeys would stop them, beat them, keep them from doing that. And then they introduced another monkey, but they took out one of the original monkeys. And over time, there were no more. The original 4 monkeys were no longer in that cage. But every monkey in there was beating down a new monkey that tried to push that button. And what's funny is they had stopped putting the treat in there too.
Yeah.
The fucking
and
button.
See, so with that
No
being
treat,
true,
but they was whooping anybody's ass that was trying to fuck with that button. Now tell me that you can't learn destructive behavior.
And that's the thing with that being true about black people. With that, this is why I'm like, then white people are the same way with how their parents and their grandparents were with racism and stuff. So generational trauma, generational hate or whatever you want to call it, that the white people did.
To hop on that real quick, Susan. I had a shower thought this morning while I was showering, and it's like, we were bred to be the biggest and the best and the strongest, so they can get more labor out of us. So naturally, we're going to be better athletes. We dominate more at a lot of sports because we're able to run, jump, and stuff higher and faster. Yeah. But have you ever thought about who are the best pitchers and the best quarterbacks in the league? 90% of it is white. So if we were bred to do that, because if we were bred, and that's still in our DNA, those whipping arms from the whippers are the ones that are created the quarterbacks and the great pitchers.
Well,
yeah. And what kind of reaction to whip and throwing the ball are similar?
Yep.
I'm going to go a little different on that one. A little bit different. Okay. The biggest, most powerful athletes on the football field is the line. And the majority of that line is a bunch of strapping black dudes. And they are protecting the big white dude.
Yep. That was what I was thinking.
It's all about protecting. You see what I'm saying? Even though the most athletic people arguably in the United States are black people, and it's kind of like Batman and the Joker. All right. They made us big and freaking strong and dominant so that we could do their work for them. So you made me, but now you're afraid of them, and then racism kicks in, and you try to control that. So it's like Batman tells the Joker, we'll say the black people are the Joker because we're the bad guys in this story. The Joker says, "You made me scary. You made me this way." And then the racist Batman, it's a terrible analogy, but anyway, he says, "You made me too." You see what I'm saying? So we are bred to be bigger, stronger, blah, blah, blah. And just by genetics and the breed, because they were killing the weaker ones would die. Only the strong would survive. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in a sense, the biggest, strongest, most domineering looking freaking black folks is because the white people wanted us because we could work stronger and we can adapt to the heat and we could carry more. We could do more shit because you want the big, strong N-word as opposed to freaking the not so strong. You know, you kind of bred us out. Just like animals, we were property. Let's say what it is.
Yeah, right. I'm going to tell you one further. Because following the Civil War, right, after slavery was ended, we had to change the narrative about how we looked at black men in particular. During slavery, and we have minstrel shows that kind of play off that, black men were always portrayed as being happy-go-lucky and just wanting guidance and all this. But suddenly now they're competing with poor whites for jobs. And the first labor union to form in this country was between the newly freed slaves and the indentured servants who also were finding their own place in the world. And the robber barons kind of went to those Irish and Germans and all and were like, hey, I would love to pay you more, but there's this guy over here that's like stealing from you. Right. And so I can't give you as much, which then split those poor groups. And then we started creating more stereotypes. And this is where the black man is criminal comes from, because now we have to make it where you don't want to hire him because he's dangerous. Right. Because immediately after following the Civil War, we passed what are called panhandling laws. Now, when we think about panhandlers today, we think of the poor guy begging for money on the street. But those laws actually are still in the books. And what they say are, if you do not have at least one piece of U.S. currency on you at all times, you are guilty of vagrancy. And we started arresting black men at just exponential rates.
They had the
Our prison
vagrancy law.
populations went from 10,000 a year nationally to 100 to 200,000 a year immediately following the Civil War.
Right. Now, check this out. I think it's Tennessee or Alabama who are just putting laws on the books that, let me get this right. Let me get it right. They called it public camping.
Yeah.
If you're publicly camping, which is pretty much vagrancy, you're just there doing nothing. So round circle here. Public camping. If you get convicted of public camping, that is going to be, or if it hasn't started already, a felony. And along with being a felon, you lose your right to vote.
Yep.
That's nothing but the same fucking shit.
And that's why they arrest black people and charge them mostly with felonies because of that right there. If it's overturned and everything and you're not convicted, if you're charged in some places of a felony, you can't vote. And you know, they're making this new law that came out where if you are convicted of something and you fight back to get it overturned, they're making it illegal to bring the evidence that wasn't shown.
No. They passed that.
They passed
it? The Supreme Court passed that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So new evidence will not exonerate you, no matter how shitty of a defense they had or how much stuff the prosecutors concealed.
That's crazy. Let me say this real quick. Hey, Uncle Steve, I'm slowly but surely bringing myself back to social media to include the other channel. So I will be contacting you again for those beautiful spices. And I got
Suzanne, can I tell you why that is?
Hold on. Hold the thought. Those of you guys on TikTok, if you want to get into this podcast, I need you to go to my profile on TikTok or jump off of TikTok, come straight into YouTube and look for the R-BoP podcast. R-BoP, the R-BoP podcast. You come in here and I can even come right into this actual conversation. I can bring you right in here on the screen.
But they have to open it under Safari, not any other website. They have to open it through
You
Safari.
got to go straight to YouTube.
Or,
You got to go
or
straight.
go
I
or go
got to
straight to
jump into a
YouTube.
meeting, y'all. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
but
guys.
I'm still here.
Bye.
But take care.
Oh,
Take care.
okay, Suzanne, you know why the reason they passed that law or
I thought because
the
they were
Supreme
like new black people were fighting and weren't just taking the no. What was
Nope.
it?
The prison system is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Hmm.
How you gonna get free labor out of free people?
That's true. That's
And
true.
they know all the most convictions of black.
And after the Civil War, the prison population went from being 95% white to 95% black.
Yeah.
Well, see, and what contributed to that, a lot of what contributed to that was obviously laws, but the war on drugs started with the
Yep.
Reagan administration and kept
Yep.
on going. Clinton didn't help. Yeah,
You
yeah,
right about that. Yep.
didn't help. They filled the prisons. There's a large, disproportionate amount of freaking people of color in prison. And all the way back from freaking Jim Crow, they made it so that, well, slavery's over per se, but if you get put in jail for vagrancy laws or anything else, they shortly thereafter produce laws where the average person can write contracts. Then they started having contracts between average people and the freaking prison system so that those very people that were no longer slave, that got imprisoned for bullshit laws, could be freaking sent out to work those same plantations that they were not allowed to do for free. So they put them in jail and made it a way for them to keep doing it.
And they literally say that in the Constitution that slavery is no longer legal except for
punishment of being a prisoner. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it literally is slavery.
Someone says from TikTok, imagine being a teacher today and telling your kids they are safe. Yeah, you can tell that lie if you want to. We can try to keep them safe. I'm back to where I started. This is where this conversation actually started. I hope TikTok can hear me, and I know you guys can. When is enough, man? All right. If I've never been on President Biden's side before, if I hadn't, there's no way I could not agree with this shit needs to stop. You can look, people call, well, no, it's not about freaking laws, that bullshit. When every freaking presidency that I've been alive, from Reagan, that I voted for, from Reagan till now, there have been shootings.
Yeah.
And to include the fucking president, there have been shootings, and nothing, it seems to be, it just seems like there's a certain group of people that are absolutely against doing anything when it has something to do with a gun.
Yeah. And I already
like,
saw a video where someone said, oh, now they're going to make it political and all that about trying to take away guns.
That's the first thing they do.
Shootings.
Or they'll say, hey, you're being heartless. Let the people mourn. Now's not the time.
Yeah, that too.
They say that shit. Now it's too early to talk about it. It's now thoughts and prayers.
And then it'll be, later on, it'll be, oh, just get over it. It happened this long ago, so it's never a time to talk about it.
Yeah, now's not the time. And then after about a week or two, they'll be like, well, that happened. Why dwell in the past? Why dwell in the past? Same shit.
Every time.
It's frustrating. It's absolutely freaking frustrating. And I don't care who it is. You don't deserve to die by minding your own fucking business. You just don't. We got motherfuckers getting shot in church. Yeah. We got motherfuckers getting shot in movie theaters. We got motherfuckers getting shot in clubs. We got motherfuckers getting shot in school after school after school after fucking school. We got motherfuckers getting shot in grocery stores.
Yep. Do you know, I saw a video about this guy saying the whole reason why the white guy went to shoot up the store, because one of the guys who got killed, he was inventing a car that was running off of just water. So they're saying that it was done so they could kill him, and everybody else was just to cover up them just purposely going to kill that one guy.
Yeah, I mean, I heard
someone
that.
did a video saying that.
I don't know if that's true or not. I can't confirm or deny, but I heard that. Now, there's also an African. I heard that. That's a conspiracy theory. There's a freaking African kid who was supposed to be creating a propulsion system for automobiles with radio waves or something like that, and then he magically died. So the conspiracy is, if you come up with a viable way to get rid of big oil, the big, you know what I'm saying? If you get away, if you come up with a way that, you know, those people magically freaking get unalived because the big corporation, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to protect their own. I don't know if I believe that. I've heard those conspiracy theories, but I can't, you know, I ain't got no evidence. Yeah. So anyway, I'm getting ready to jump up off of here, guys. This is going to be my norm. Okay. Now, let me explain how the podcast works. What I can do, I'm not going to do this, not for this one, but if this was going to be turned into an actual podcast, I got this big red record button to my right. Option number 1, I could have recorded this whole conversation and then render that whole conversation, this hour-plus conversation, render it with some software to make it sound pristine, you know, take out your S's and your P's, take all that shit out and make it sound great, and then just upload it to the R-BoP freaking podcast, and it would come out at wherever you consume your podcast. I call it something, give it a title, episode, whatever, and it would be a podcast. And everything we said for the last hour and 16 minutes, you can listen to straight audio while you're driving.
Okay.
So that's the difference between this.
Yes, ma'am. I put them in the car.
Being a video podcast and an actual podcast where you can get from Spotify or freaking Amazon or freaking Apple, all of those podcast places. That's where this actual podcast can be found.
Okay.
If you were just type in R-BoP podcast, you'd find a whole lot of links where you can listen to the other season and a half that I already got of various conversations and interviews.
Okay.
So I'm bringing this back. But if I'm not doing for TikTokers and you guys, if I'm not doing my 5-mile walk and talk due to bad weather or whatever reason, then probably later on that day or the afternoon, I'll just say, hey guys, I'm doing a podcast. You know where to find me.
So just message me when you do that, okay?
Well, I'll just do a TikTok. Hey guys, I'm going live on the podcast in about an hour. That's it. And then I'll come on here.
I don't really see your videos anymore.
Well, it'll catch the ones that it does catch, and
so you're just gonna leave us out. All right, cool.
No, it'll catch the ones that it does catch,
the ones who
and
really
I'll just
come
figure
on
out
and support you, leaving us out of it. Oh, I feel loved.
No. I wouldn't leave you out because see, I don't know why you guys don't see my videos sometimes. I don't get. Well, one, I haven't been posting a lot. Do you see my last 2 duets?
I did not.
Okay, well, shit. I don't know how to fix that, but I'll make sure you guys know. Best I can. I'll just send you guys a private message on TikTok. I can do that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just do that.
Yeah. But anyway, there you go. Welcome to my YouTube podcast. You guys in TikTok, thanks for this. Feel free to come to either or. I'm going to be doing both. And I'm going to start the cooking channel again. So there you go.
Good.
All right, sounds good.
I need some recipes, man.
Oh, just go there, man. I've been doing that cooking show for like freaking 8 years. There's all kind of recipes over there.
Some of that stuff I ain't cooking, man. Stop playing.
No. See, you got stuff where I show what I'm eating, and then you got stuff where I'm cooking what I'm cooking. They're not the same.
Okay. The eating stuff, right.
And before we get off here, I do need y'all to pray because some of my blood workup came back. And my platelets are at 11,000 and they're supposed to be at 400,000. So I'm going to have to go to the hospital and get a platelets transfusion.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I got you. Positive thoughts,
Thank you.
positive vibes. You're going to have my prayers. But those of you that are listening, if you don't pray, whatever you do that's positive, send it to Suzanne.
Amen.
Whatever you do that's positive energy and all of that. But
Thank you.
there you go. We are here. You guys are there.
Hey.
Hey, you expect
there it is.
you expect
Okay.
this family
All
today,
right.
right?
Well, I love
Yeah.
you guys.
All right. Y'all
Love you
take
too.
care. And I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, I do
All
got
right,
family coming in today. Y'all take care. All right.